My name is Mike Goody. I'm from Goody Plumbing, and I'm going to show you a couple of tips on how to unclog a lavatory sink, which is one of the more common calls that we get. First thing you want to do is run the faucet rather, for a little bit, and if the water backs up right away, it's a good indication that the clog is nearby and it might be something that you can handle. Now, if you have to run the water for, say, 30 seconds or longer, the clog or the obstruction is farther down the line. In that case, you're going to want to call a professional. The one thing I'd like to start out with saying is I do not recommend a chemical drain cleaner. They can harm your skin if you do come in contact with it, and over a long term it can cause issues with the piping, particularly metal piping that's in some of the older homes. In a minor clog like this, for example, this sink here, the clog is pretty close by, so you'll start by opening the pop-up assembly, which is the drain stopper. And what you can do, you can go to the hardware store and for just $3 or $4 you can buy, it's a serrated plastic drain unclogger. And you can try that and stick it in the opening here carefully and try to get the clog out. That may get some of the obstruction out. If not, the next step that I would recommend doing is trying to get the pop-up assembly out. Some of them just sit in there. This one is held in by a linkage rod, which I will disassemble right now, and we'll get that out of there and see if there's something we can clear out easily. The pop-up is held in as you'll take one hand on top and hold the pop-up up so it doesn't fall down, because it can be a real pain to get out. And then you'll just loosen this. Sometimes your hand loose. If not, you might need a channel lock to loosen it up. Pull back on it, and out comes the drain. You pull the pop-up drain out. You can see there's a lot of buildup on it, and we'll definitely want to put that aside and clean that out. And down in here, there is some buildup down in the drain, in the tailpiece here. So we'll want to clean that out. You can start by using the serrated drain tool that I mentioned earlier. Try to stick that down there and clean out as much as you can. Now, if you're a little braver, you want to get this really clean, you can remove the P-trap, which is this here, and in this case it's actually the incorrect size, but it'll work for now. This is an 1.5 inch P-trap, which is what you'd want to use on a kitchen sink. Most lavatory sinks should use 1.25 inches. So you just remove this. As you can see, there's a little buildup in there, but it's not too terrible, but there's some in there, so we'll want to clean that out. Then we'll remove this compression tail piece. That's an extension piece. And then what I'll do next is I'll take a little toilet tissue like this, and you can use a rod. In this case, I've used a screwdriver, section of a screwdriver, but you can use almost anything that's similar. And you'll go back up on top, and you'll stick this down through there. Make sure the rod is out of the way. And you can see we got quite a bit out of it at that time. And I'll usually repeat the process of cleaning it with the toilet tissue or other kind of tissue. Okay, so what then we'll do next is we'll put the P-trap back together and put the rod back in. But as you can see, I've left the drain out. We want to make sure that what we did was successful. So after cleaning the pop-up assembly and the P-trap assembly and reassembling everything, the sink in this house is still a little slow, but it's still backing up very quickly, which tells me the obstruction is a little bit farther down, but still pretty close. So one other thing that we can try is to use a plunger. In this case, we're going to use a sink plunger, which is different than a toilet plunger, in that it has a flat bottom. So some sinks, or any sink, should have an overflow. You want to make sure that that's blocked up. In this case, I'm holding my finger over it. And you'll take the plunger, make sure it's firmly seated at the base of the sink over the drain, completely covering it. A couple of firm pushes. Okay, we'll give it one last test and see how that works. Okay, everything's going down great. We're running some hot water that'll help wash everything through. And in this case, everything is in good shape, so it looks like he gets off easy today. If the drain was still slow, then what you'd want to do is call a professional plumber, a licensed drain cleaner. And if you are in Chicago or the suburbs, give Goody Plumbing a call at 773-930-3451 and we can get somebody out to help you out. Thank you.